Oh, hey, it's good to see you. Let's have a quick chat. Okay, so we talked about privilege, but you had another question? What is intersectionality? Yeah, okay. So intersectionality is also one of those words that kind of gets a weird reputation. Some people really love it, some people really hate it, some people think it's just a buzzword, and a lot of people don't actually understand what it means. The original word intersectionality comes from a lawyer, a black woman, named Kimberly Crenshaw, and she coined the phrase to describe the experiences of specifically black women. There was a court case, I believe it was General Motors, where these black women were suing for discrimination because they were being discriminated against as black women. And a really weird thing happened. The discrimination wasn't happening based on race, because that discrimination that was happening to them wasn't happening to the black men. And it also wasn't based on sex or gender, because the discrimination happening to them wasn't happening to the white women. And intersectionality was created as a way to describe the intersections of their identities that were causing issues that these other groups weren't facing. It wasn't just that they were black or just that they were women, but specifically because they were black and women, they were facing these acts of discrimination, hence intersectionality. And it was really used as a way to talk about this combination of marginalizations that could lead to very specific types of oppression, and also complicated oppression, because are you being discriminated because you're black, because you're a woman, because of both of those things combined? It's not always clear. Intersectionality, as it's talked about in sort of a mainstream audience right now, often refers to the idea that everybody has these intersections of things like race, or sex or gender, or even class, ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression even, all of these different things that make us who we are as individuals. And when those identities start to interact with each other, they compound our experiences. And it's really important that we acknowledge the way that these intersections happen. First of all, because they happen for literally everyone. Two people who might seem to be really similar might have really different experiences just because of the things that they don't have in common. So for example, if you have, say, a white male and another white male, they might seem to have a lot in common, but if one is older and another is younger, or one is a trans man and one is a cis man, their experiences are probably going to be really different because of the combinations of those things. And that's especially important when it comes to folks with some more marginalized statuses. Because if we're not paying attention to those intersections, then we start to assume that certain people represent a whole group and their needs represent a whole group, and that's just not the case. Look at conversations around feminism, for example. The experience of, say, a middle-class white woman is going to be really different than the experience of a middle-class black woman, which will be different than the experience of a working-class black woman, which would be different than the experiences of a poor Asian woman, which would be different even than the experiences of any woman of any of those identities, assuming that all of those people were cisgender and somebody's transgender. All of the layers matter. And so when we look at intersectionality, it's important both to remember the original meaning of the word and also what the culture likes to use that word as. Specifically because they both matter, and if we don't, we're forgetting the history and struggle of black women, and also the importance of recognizing multiple identities. Does that make sense? Good. I'm glad we had this chat. I'll talk to you later. Bye.